What if I told you that one of the most documented Bigfoot corridors on the planet isn't in the Pacific Northwest? It's right here in California, and the reports coming out of it are a lot harder to dismiss than anyone wants to admit. I used to think Bigfoot was a punchline. Then I started reading the actual case files. Either hundreds of people hiking, hunting, and working in Northern California's wilderness have all independently decided to lie about the same thing, or something is out there. Most people hear Patterson-Gimlin film, and their brain immediately files it under obviously fake. Guy in a suit, blurry footage, classic hoax. And for years, that was my reaction too. But here's where Bluff Creek, Humboldt County, gets under your skin. That 60-odd seconds of 16mm film shot in October of 1967 isn't just the most famous piece of Bigfoot footage ever captured. It's the most technically analyzed piece of cryptid evidence in history. And the analysts keep running into the same wall. The subject in the film, researchers call her Patty, walks with what biomechanics specialists describe as a compliant gait. Knee bent throughout the entire stride, never locking, even when bearing full body weight. Recreation attempts using actors show unconscious knee locking every 4 to 7 steps, a biomechanical tell that's genuinely difficult to fake without mechanical assistance or extraordinary physical discipline. A 2025 review of the gait data concluded the 1967 footage resists easy debunking and warrants further analysis. That's not a ringing endorsement of Bigfoot's existence, but it's also not nothing. Sure, go ahead and call it a hoax. A lot of smart people do. The thing is, Bluff Creek didn't stop producing reports after 1967. It kept going. And so did the rest of Northern California. The BFRO has documented over 440 filed California reports, with the state ranking second only to Washington in encounter frequency. And those reports cluster, not randomly across the state, but in the same dense redwood and national forest corridors, decade after decade, from witnesses who have never met each other and have nothing obvious to gain. A Forest Service worker doing a routine trail check at dawn, no camera, no agenda, comes back to the ranger station visibly shaken, describing something that moved through the tree line on 2 legs and stood taller than the brush it walked through. That person isn't chasing fame. They're usually hoping nobody finds out. So why does the same 200-mile stretch of Northern California keep producing that account over and over again? That Forest Service worker walking out of the tree line visibly shaken, does that kind of witness account make you more likely to believe something's out there? Or are you still firmly in the hoax camp? Drop your answer in the comments below. Because what those reports point to next is somehow even harder to explain away. 6 Rivers National Forest alone covers over 1 million acres of rugged, mountainous terrain in the exact counties where those sightings cluster: Del Norte, Humboldt, Trinity, Siskiyou. 1 million acres. And that's before you count the adjacent Klamath, Trinity, and Shasta-Trinity National Forests stitched alongside it. The redwood corridors running through Del Norte and Humboldt are among the least surveilled wilderness in the continental United States. Search and rescue teams regularly lose people in there for days, trained professionals with GPS, radios, and air support. The canopy is so dense, it defeats aerial thermal imaging. The terrain folds in on itself in ways that make a grid search almost meaningless. So here's the reframe. The question isn't, is Bigfoot real? That's the question that keeps the whole thing trapped in punchline territory. The better question, the one that actually fits the evidence, is, could something large, bipedal, and deeply averse to human contact survive undetected in that landscape? And when you lay the geography against the sighting record, the honest answer is probably yes. Not certainly, probably. That's what makes the hoax explanation so structurally weak. To believe every one of those 400-plus filed California reports is fabricated, you have to believe that hundreds of unconnected people, hunters, hikers, forestry workers, people who had every reason to stay quiet, independently invented the same general description in the same geographic corridor across decades without coordinating. That's not a simpler explanation. That's a conspiracy that would dwarf the thing it's trying to debunk. I'm not telling you Bigfoot is real. What I'm telling you is that California's wilderness is vast enough and the evidence strange enough that I genuinely don't know is the most intellectually honest answer anyone can give. And maybe that's exactly why people keep going back into those forests. Subscribe and comment if you want more stories where the easy explanation doesn't quite hold up.